Oh my god. Look at this guy. Oh, isn't he so cute? He's a little bit blurry. His name is Bean. Alright, get out of here. Alright, what's up, guys? This is going to be a little bit different video. It's going to be not exactly related to forex. And it's going to be a little bit more of a motivational type thing because I really want to kind of share my story of how I got here for you guys, so you can hopefully kind of get some sort of same interest, figure out what you want to do, because I really hope that people can kind of follow in my footsteps and turn some things around into going the right direction, into doing exactly what you want to do in life and living the exact life that you want to do, because that is honestly how I feel right now. I am living the exact life that I think is ideal. There's not really anything more I would change other than just continue to improve on the things I'm already doing. So it's absolutely fantastic. Let's dive into it, guys. All right, so starting off a little bit into the background, you guys maybe already know that I started out in a IT type background where I was in school for computer science, programming type stuff, and it was a 2-year diploma. And I was actually in the second year, and I was starting to think, man, this is friggin' tough. This is so much work. I don't know exactly how I want to do this for the rest of my life. It's so difficult. I don't really like it that much. I didn't really click with the IT type people. They're a little bit more quieter type people, and I am crazy energy sometimes. So we didn't get along super well. But it was definitely a good experience, and it did change the way I think to be much more analytical, and that helps me a lot with trading now. So I would recommend, anyone who's got kind of an IT type logic, kind of follow a similar way of developing your strategy, just like I do in my trading personally. But I was actually going to drop out because I didn't really like it in the second year. And it was actually one guy that came up to me, and just out of nowhere, I remember that this was the one moment of my life that is the smallest decision, not really the smallest decision, but one little thing that he said to me, and it completely changed the course of my life. And essentially, he was just some guy that was very persuasive in a sense, and him and a couple other people were going on to do the 2 extra years to get the degree in the IT there. And he basically just said, hey, come along with us. We need one more person so that we can have enough to be able to do the group assignments together, because we wanted to all work together. And I basically said, well, okay, fine. I'll do 2 extra years of school just because you said so. And then that way I would for sure, in fact, finish my degree. I would have a degree, and then I would go into the IT field with much more power going in and everything, get a better job and whatnot like that. Now, why that was important was because these guys, then in those next 2 years, because they're so closely knit in the IT world, they told me about cryptocurrency. They told me about Bitcoin. And then I started getting into Bitcoin in the early, I think, 2017, once I was done schooling and I was actually working for other people. So we were then experimenting with trading Bitcoin because of these guys. Now, the actual jobs that I was working were entry level, either system admin or just plain tech support. And I freaking hated this stuff. It was so boring, and I was basically people's slave. There, I was just like the runt of the business, and I would just do and fix everything that everyone needed to complain about, and they would complain to me about all their problems essentially. And it was so annoying and so boring that I did not work hard at all in this job, because I just couldn't handle those people having silly IT problems that I had to fix. And essentially I would end up not being able to hold the jobs down because I would be working on crypto stuff. I would be trying to do my own thing because that's what was so passionate for me. And that was way more fun than actually dealing with their problems. So I didn't do a very good job in these jobs. But so we ended up getting kind of fired or let go. The jobs got dropped from multiple different jobs, and I never actually held a job for very long. And it actually got to one point. The title of this video referencing kind of homelessness, and it's I didn't necessarily wasn't necessarily homeless, but I couldn't pay the rent of a very cheap $700 apartment, and it was a cheap apartment, like a 1 bedroom, no kitchen type thing. And everyone's first starter apartment where it's quite run down basement suite, nothing you want to actually stay in for very long. But because we kept getting let go, I couldn't actually pay for it, and then essentially I got kicked out, and I had to live with my mom for maybe a few months there until I kind of got back onto my feet. And that was kind of the turning point where I said, hey, we do not want to do this, we meaning me and my brain. We do not want to do this anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of focus on this other thing. And I started then looking for kind of jobs that would give me more free time. I would be working in the middle of the night so that I would then be able to work on my own thing and not actually have to work with people around me, kind of watching over servers in the middle of the night, doing crappy, boring jobs for most people. But for me, I was actually be able to work on something else. So that's kind of something, if you guys don't want to do your job and work for somebody else, find a job where you don't have to really do anything, like working in the middle of the night, and then you can focus on what you really want to do, if that makes sense. So you have much more free time. You just have to make sure that the management doesn't come in and say, hey, you're not working on our company stuff, so we're going to let you go, because that actually happened multiple times too. A lot of jobs that it seemed like I could do whatever I wanted in my free time, but then they said, hey, why aren't you working? And then they let me go. So things like that, Okay, so back with the story, all the extra money I was making after I was living with my mom a little bit, and then we moved out to another place for a year, and lived on my own there for a year after that. And all the extra money, I just kept dumping everything into crypto, and eventually crypto started making some money, and then crypto completely crashed, and I saved some of the money, not really a whole lot of it, but it was enough that I could then throw it into forex, because crypto started just becoming wonky, just completely ups and downs. I was losing money in crypto. I didn't know how to trade it. I looked at forex. I said, hey, this is something that we could actually get good at easier. It's much more controlled. The banks are revolving around it, and it's not just random retail traders going based off of random timed news, where forex is like, this is when the news is, essentially, and this is when you want to be trading. These are the hours, things like this. Crypto is just everywhere, all over the place, and it's not the best to trade. So we got into forex, and forex was incredibly difficult. But then that IT mindset that I had, where I said, okay, let's break this down. Let's be very analytical about things. Let's create massive amounts of data and then prove systems, prove different things of logic. And where I got these ideas to test was from mentorships. I think I've had probably 4 or 5 different mentors at this point, two of which I had after I became profitable, and they've helped me even more. All paid mentorships. I think some of them very cheap, some of them extremely expensive, from $300 to $10,000, ranging between that amount. And every single one of them is valuable in a different sense, and they all kind of taught me different things. And now I've created my own system here. So essentially what you want to be doing is get these ideas, and then you back test those ideas. You come up with your own, and you say, okay, what's the reason why things are going this way? Why is the market moving in certain ways? And then develop systems based around that. And then after you prove that, you guys heard me talk about this a million times before on the channel. After you prove that data is actually profitable in the long run, then you can start applying it into your actual trading. And this way, I was able to not really lose money trading forex, where I did lose money trading crypto because I didn't actually analyze the charts in the same manner. Then all that crypto money that I did have then was able to blow up quite a bit quicker. And after about 6 months, you guys might have seen my original very first video I've ever posted. If you haven't watched that somewhere, it's the very first. It's a way less energy, not as fun. I was much more shy in front of the camera, but you guys can definitely watch that video. That was basically describing how I was able to find a profitable system within 6 months and then make some money off of that within the first year of trading. Anyways, guys, that's absolutely everything that I have to say about my past. I think it was an amazing change of mind. It was a complete different flip of my mindset. When I was working for someone else, I had very little drive, so little so that I could barely even support my own life because just had no interest, and none of the employers wanted me around because it was very clear that I didn't want to do it. And then going to something that you're working for yourself, and once you start working for yourself, it doesn't really matter as much what you're doing. It's just so much more passion, and you're working so much harder, and you're trying to figure things out, and it's so much more satisfying. And that is what I would suggest to you guys, is really focus on these things that are a little bit passionate to you and find some time to do them at work, maybe, and then you will then get to the same point. That is all, guys. I will see you next time.
Listen.